there, Adam and I are back in the studio today, day 2 of a European Utility Week 2016. So Adam, a long day, but a really good day.
Do you know what my highlight of the day was?
I have no idea.
Someone fell off this chair and nearly broke it.
Wait, was it you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I barged in on one video. That was my... And a little grumpiness here and there, but everybody came out okay.
That's good.
So usually there was a guy I was interviewing, and I said, "You are the last gentleman before we actually start to lose our minds." It happens that same way, and it happened. The very next interview, we were losing our minds. So a lot of interviews today, several panels, and one of the most amazing things that I saw today is that the interlopers into the utility market, they're gone. They've either been sucked up or they're just not here anymore. Some of the companies that seemed like they were ruling this show, they're not here.
Yeah.
And it's actually seems to have brightened the room a little bit because they came from other industries. They asserted themselves on an industry that is very complicated. Yes, it's very slow moving, frustratingly slow moving, but still with a lot of nuance. And
it's slow moving for a reason.
Exactly.
You know, when we turn on the light switch, let's bring it down to fundamental base level. I want that light to work. So 100 years of culture fostering has gone into thinking like that. You know, someone comes home, switch the light switch, I want it to work. I don't want my utility to suddenly say, "Oh, sorry, it didn't work. We're trying something new. We're going to swap it out later."
Yeah, yeah. We've put in a new, special in-home communicating Zigbee chip to serve your needs, right? Or our analytics broke.
Yeah.
So none of that was ever interesting, or it was dangerously interesting, perhaps, and oftentimes extremely expensive, and didn't map well to the functions of the utility. In fact, there was always the argument, well, utility, you need to change the way you're functionally organized so that you can buy our enterprise level product, and they're not here.
Yeah.
I don't see them here. I also interviewed a couple of the award winners from the industry awards show last night, and I noticed one thing in common that I really appreciated, which is they're designing with human beings in mind. So every single person said, when I said, "How did you come up with this idea that made you an award winner?" Each time they said, "We went to the customers to find out what they needed."
And we're solving a problem.
Solving a problem. So that's something that nobody does particularly well, right? It's hard to learn. I mean, it's design thinking in a way, or even taking an ethnographic approach to learning how to solve problems. And another thing, before I pitch it to you, I wanted to and I sort of want to know if you saw this too. I'm seeing these novel, innovative ideas finally emerge from the utility, but they're so excited about them that they're actually saying we want to build it in a way that scales, and then we want to take it to other utilities. We want other utilities to adopt our ideas, and so that's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. And it is the bunch of incumbent utilities who are saying that we've got something that works. We can actually sell that or license it to another utility, because again, uniquely, they may not compete. Although a lot of these guys, when you go up the finance tree, they're probably all owned by the same people, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole other globalization commentary, right? But that's pretty interesting. So there's a few things that are new to me, which are enthusiastic people at the utility show. I mean, really, it's seriously a different kind of enthusiasm.
And a young crowd as well.
Yeah.
So this realization that I, as a utility, need to start working with a young crowd in order to understand that mindset and what that's doing. Yeah.
And as somebody who's done a lot of interviews, maybe not as many as you, but a lot, I used to get very frustrated by people coming in that could only talk about their prepared marketing talking points, and I get that to some extent, why that happens, but I haven't actually seen that.
It's a lot freer, right?
Yeah, it's a lot freer. People are willing to talk about their challenges because they're actually starting to overcome them, so they're not so terrified of them, I think. So I don't know.
One of the things I had great fun on is the one panel I did today We titled it, Is Energy Storage the Smartphone of the for Energy? And we didn't use the word smartphone in the sense that we wanted to draw some vaguely weird parallel with the IT industry, which always gets rolled out. We used the word smartphone because the smartphone was actually an enabler for a lot of things. So we used it in the context to conjure up it as an enabling technology. And what was very interesting, when we put that out, I'm not going to replay the entire panel, you can watch it online, right? But I put the notion to everybody that the pace and the drivers of the cost of behind the meter storage is such that it will become a commodity. And one of the panelists said, well, listen, in Germany we've already got 45,000 of these things installed, and we didn't do it. People just went ahead and did it.
Right.
And I said, well, what would happen when you have 200, 250? I said, well, that's not that insane a measure. In fact, there's a recent article where study had been done that if all of this trend continues, the amount of behind the meter storage in Germany alone is the equivalent of 3 pumped hydro plants.
Wow.
This is behind the meter storage, the equivalent of 3 pumped hydro plants.
So when you're talking about the iPhone, you're talking about the J curve, the hockey stick. That's what you mean. You're talking about like serious adoption. So, I mean, I guess So I actually was kind of blown away. So I was interviewing somebody today about storage, right? And all of a sudden talking about other enablers like ammonia extraction and I mean it is
that whole circular economy thing, right?
Yeah, so it's now happening in technology. Well, talking about that, our first panel this morning was about distributed energy, which you can go almost any way with, and we ended up talking about that circular economy in terms of how you manage it from a transactive energy perspective. And the interesting thing about that conversation is we stopped talking about assets and things and units. We started talking about relationships and how you monetize relationships, how they work technically and then how you can make them work at an economic level. So this industry that's always just been about shipping electrons down a wire, it may actually be out front in terms of enabling an entirely new economy.
I agree. And just segueing onto that point, and we're going to have to wrap, otherwise this quick wrap up will turn into a whole big long big long interview. But the blockchain stuff that was happening in the hub, the demos around blockchain and using it, and I know we've been working on a report on blockchain which will be out shortly, but really using that as an enabling technology to do a lot of stuff. I know that you and I have been tired about the blockchain hype and we just see it as enabling technology, but actually it just brings it home that these guys are still trying to figure out how to use it, right? Yeah,
but we're not, used to be you wait for the financial industry to come back and tell us what to do, and then another 10 years we'll be right behind you, and it's right there. I mean, I'm actually pretty stunned. So in wrapping it up, one person, you said there are a lot of younger people here, and one of them said to me, I know, it's annoying, right? It's annoying. Just wait for the next 3 to 5 years. I'm like, well, I hope I'm here, and hopefully you won't fall off any chairs anymore and, cause permanent injury. Exactly. Right. But listen, it's thank you for watching this. I think from both Carol and I, it's a double thumbs up for the second day, right? It normally tails off. Thank you for watching. All the interviews are wrapped around this as well, so we're doing a great job of getting these out as quickly as possible. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. Thank you. Yeah, see you later.